William and Kate will lead the nation in tributes to the late Queen on the first anniversary of her death, with Charles deciding against publicly commemorating the occasion. The Prince and Princess of Wales will deliver a public message in honor of the life and legacy of late monarch, who passed away on September 8 last year, after serving a record-breaking 70 years on the throne. The future king and queen are expected to recognize the outpouring of emotion and accolades from across the world in the days and weeks that followed Her Majesty's demise, but also use the opportunity to look forward as the royal family's year of transition comes to an end, sources revealed. However, the king has decided against publicly acknowledging his mother's passing, instead choosing to mark the date privately at the Balmoral home in Scotland, where she died aged 96. Palace officials said Charles, 74, would choose to spend the anniversary quietly and privately, adding just as the late queen did to mark her own father's passing. Elizabeth II spent the anniversaries of her father's death and the start of her reign in what used to be termed private reflection. She never publicly marked royal deaths and usually sent someone in her place. Elizabeth II traditionally stayed at her Sandringham estate in Norfolk until after the anniversary of her father George VI's death on February 6, following the Christmas and New Year break. Members of the royal family, including William and Kate, may attend public engagements around the late Queen's anniversary. However, palace sources said there were no plans for any public event or private family gathering attended by all the royals. Sources said William and Kate were keen to mark the passing of the heir's grandmother, but final plans were still being made how the address will be delivered, whether in person or via their social media channels to millions of followers. A royal source said, "Her Majesty's passing was an event that truly signified the end of an era. The royal family has very much been in transition since then, and now following the coronation and conclusion of the summer holidays, there will be an expectation to see what is next." The king, who earlier this month began his summer in Scotland, will welcome members of his family to the Balmoral estate this summer. Palace aides said that while Charles, 74, will no doubt take part in the traditional elements of the royal summer holidays, similar to those presided by his mother, he would also be hosting his own get-togethers. The king and queen will also, as is tradition for the monarch to welcome serving prime ministers, welcome Rishi Sunak and his family to stay. While royals will visit the king over the next few weeks, Prince Harry and his wife Meghan Markle were last week reportedly shunned from an invitation to the Scottish estate as relations between the king and his estranged son continue to be at rock bottom. Charles was seen at the May Highland Games in John O'Groats last weekend at the start of his summer holiday. The king is expected to travel to France in the coming weeks for his rescheduled state visit, after riots in the country forced French President Emmanuel Macron to cancel the trip in March. Charles and Camilla are also expected to travel to Kenya later in the autumn for their first major trip to the Commonwealth since Charles became king, choosing the African nation ahead of one of the 14 British realms for a major tour.